have our prayer. Please bow down your heads and feel the presence of the Lord. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Almighty God, please give us a lot of information, enlighten our mind, our soul, and our hearts, so that we can be able to acquire a lot of knowledge, insights, and information that we will be going to have and to use in our future purposes. Also, please give us a positive atmosphere and a positive environment for the teaching and learning process that we will be going to have right now. In this, we ask through the name of our Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, everyone, please be seated. Arrange your chairs, arrange yourselves, and pick up the pieces of paper so that we can have a positive atmosphere, a positive environment for the teaching and learning process that we will be going to have right now. Okay, so good morning, everyone. How was your day? I just want to know, how was your day? Is it amazing? Are you blessed? Are you happy for coming to school today? Alright, so I think everybody's happy and excited for the lesson that we will be tackling right now. So, for today, I am your teacher, Eva, and I will be letting you a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom for the specific topic that we will be tackling right now. So, before we proceed with our discussion, I just want to check the attendance of everybody. And I think that everybody is present and every chair is occupied. So very good. Give yourselves a round of applause for attending the class and for lending us your presence. Okay, very good, everyone. So, for our discussion, these are the objectives. First, at the end of the session, students should be able to write an email applying the different types of sentences. Students should be able to read passages and identify the type of sentence used. And next, students should be able to understand the importance of the different types of sentences. So, to proceed with the discussion, I prepared a motivation activity called Read Me Out. So, the class will be divided into 3 groups. So, what we're going to do right now is this group will be the group 1, and that group will be the group 2, and this group would be the group 3. So, everyone, please know your members, group 1. Group 2, please know your members. Please list down your members. And group 3, please less down your members. And now, for your activities, listen everybody, please listen. So the class will be divided into 3 groups. And each group will read and deliver the passage simultaneously. And after reading, each group will have 1 representative to come to the board and write the name of the punctuation used in the passage. And the one who can finish first and have wrote the names correctly will be the winner. Okay, so for group 1, group 2, and group 3, I will be flashing here the passage. And what you are going to do is you will going to read it in front simultaneously. You will going to read it aloud. And group 2, group 3, you will going to do the same. And after reading the passage, each group should have 1 representative to come to the board and write down all the punctuation used in the sentence. And the first one who can write all this punctuation and the first one who can finish the activity will be considered as the winner. Okay, so group 1, group 2, and group 3, are you now ready? Alright, so very good. I think everybody's ready now. So, here is the passage. Group 1, please proceed to the front and read this passage. Okay, very good, Group 1. Group 2, please proceed to the front. Group 1, please stay on that side. And group 2, please proceed to the front and read this passage. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, go. Alright, very good, group 2. So group 3, please proceed to the front and please read this passage. Okay, so very good, group 1, group 2, and group 3. You did a great job. You really read the passage correctly, the use of the different types of sentences. So now, what you're going to do is each group should have one representative, and each group should choose the best one who can write down the names, or even not the best one. Or each group should have one representative, or should have one student, should have one representative to write down. And I think every group already chose the representative. And okay, so the representative of each group, please proceed to the front. Please come to the board. Alright, so group 1, first group 1. Alright, so group 1 have written that the punctuation used is period, question mark, and exclamation point. So, okay, so group 2. Okay, for group 2, punctuation and exclamation. For group 3, punctuation, period, question mark, and exclamation. Alright, so what you have written in the board are all the types of punctuations. So, I instructed you to write down the different types of punctuation, or the punctuation that are used in the passage. So, only group 1 have written the complete punctuation used in the sentence. For group 2, you've only written 2 punctuations. And group 3, you have only written 2 punctuations, though there are 3 words. However, punctuation is something that we can call to the different types of punctuation. And so punctuation isn't included because punctuation is the term we use as a generalization of what are these types of punctuation. So only group 1 have written the correct one, and group 1 have written a complete punctuations that are present in this passage. Okay, so our winner is the group 1. Okay, so please give a round of applause to group 1. Okay, so to come to the discussion that we ought to discuss right now, before I proceed, I just want to know your reflection, to know your experience, or to know what knowledge have you learned, or what comes into your mind after the activity that we have done. Okay, so alright, so the use of punctuations. Yes. Okay, so the different types of punctuations. Okay. Okay, yes. Yes, the different types of sentences. Alright, so those punctuations that you have written in the board, those punctuations that you've noticed in the passage, those punctuations are used in a sentence to form the types of sentence, to form the different types of sentences. And these sentences is what we are going to tackle and what we are going to discuss this morning. Okay, so when you hear the word sentence types or types of sentences, what comes into your mind? Okay, is there someone who wants to answer? What comes into your mind when you hear the word types of sentences? Okay, yes. Alright, sentences, the different types of sentences using the punctuations. How about you? Alright, the use of sentences according to structure. punctuations used in the sentence to form its what? Alright, meaning. Okay, so all your ideas is somewhat near to the definition of the different types of sentences. And those ideas that you have uttered or that you have answered are kind of related to the topic that we are going to discuss right now, and all of those ideas are correct. Okay, so let's move on to our discussion, the different types of sentences. Okay, so it says here that the 10 sentence pattern formulas in this chapter will describe the basic structure of statements or declarative sentences. The purpose of such sentences is to state or declare a fact or an opinion, but we don't always make straightforward true statements. It's because sometimes we alter the formula to ask questions, which is the interrogative sentences, and give commands, which is the imperative sentences, and to express strong feelings, which is the exclamatory sentences. Okay, so what have you noticed in this passage? Diba? The different types of sentences are stated na in this passage. So, you can infer the fact that the different types of sentences falls under the declarative sentence, the imperative sentence, the interrogative sentence, and the exclamatory sentence. So, here we'll be giving you the different examples from the 4 different types of sentences. And for the declarative one, he talks on his cell phone all day long. For the imperative, turn that cell phone off. For the interrogative, is he talking on his cell phone now? Or why does he talk on his cell phone much? He turned off the phone, didn't he? For the exclamatory, with a lot of time he spends on his cell phone. So, okay, please read in your own. Please read it on your own. Please read these examples of the different types of sentences. Please read all of this silently. Okay, so upon reading, what have you noticed to the different types of sentences? What have you noticed based on its meaning, on the structure, or even the purpose of the punctuations in the sentence? Okay, so yes, very good. Yes, very good. There are the different types of punctuations used in the different types of sentences. Okay, so don't you know that these punctuations served as a tool to combine or to provide the meaning of the sentences? It's because without the use of this punctuation, the sentence would be dull. The sentence would be useless because, you know, you're as a communicator, as the one who talks so much, or as the one who communicates with other people. If you don't use a specific type of punctuation when you are going to write something, when you're going to write a letter, do you think your letter would be understandable by the receiver of your letter? Diba, Derek? So with that, you can infer that the use of punctuation will be based on what type of sentence is it. And the type of sentence would also be based on the punctuation that used in the sentence. However, the use of punctuation isn't always based on what type of sentence is it. It's because there are types of sentences that use the same punctuation. However, have the different meaning on it, have the different structure on it. And so, we can infer, we can still realize, and we can still know the difference between the different types or among the different types of sentences. Alright, so He talks on his cell phone all day long. And the imperative, turn that cell phone off. So, for the declarative and imperative sentences, you can notice that it uses, so these two use the same punctuation, which is the period. And with this, you can say that malipat is because pareho naging nagamit through a period. So pareho na nagamit the punctuation. However, these two can be different based on its meaning. So try to understand the meaning of these sentences. Try to understand the clue of this. Try to understand the context of it. So, can you notice that in the declarative sentence, he talks on his cell phone all day long. And in imperative, turn that cell phone off. Have you noticed the difference between these two? And the second one, interrogative and the exclamatory. Is he talking to his cell phone now? And for the exclamatory, what a lot of time he spends on his cell phone. So can you notice the context of these two? So the context of these two differ from one another because these two have different structure used and these two have different meaning to convey to the readers. And so, we will be going to know in the next discussion. Okay, so we will be diving on the first type of sentence, which is the interrogative sentence. So the interrogative sentence, it says here that the two most common interrogative patterns used are the yes or no question and the WH questions or interrogative word question. And both kinds of questions alter the basic declarative word order. So now, it says that the two most common questions used for an interrogative question is the yes or no question and the WH question. So, to ask you, what are the WH questions? Okay, alright, very good. So, the WH questions are what, who, when, where, and why. So these five are the WH questions which you can use in formulating the WH questions into an interrogative questions. And also, a declarative sentence can be formulated into an interrogative sentence by putting the verb in front of the subject. So when we say putting the verb in front of the subject, it means that before the subject, there comes first the verb. So, to give you an example, we have here, they are going to the movies. So, they're going to the movies is an example of declarative sentence. And to formulate an interrogative sentence from the declarative sentence, the first thing that we need to do is to put the verb in front of the subject or to put the verb before the subject. So they are going to the movies. They are going to the movies into an interrogative question. It will come now as, are they going to the movies? So what we do is we place or we put the verb are before the subject, which is they. So they is the subject. And to make this as an interrogative question, we need to put the verb, which is are, in front of the subject or before of the subject. So we have already now, are they going to the movies? So this is an example of an interrogative question by answering yes or no. So this is a yes or no question because the only answer that you will be going to answer with this question is yes or no. And another, where are they going? Where are they going is an example of interrogative question in a form of WH question. So what makes this as a WH question? Because of the word where. So where are they going? So this is an example of an interrogative question. Do you understand? Okay, so very good. So, it also says that we still used and we used another method done in writing, it is the tag question. And this tag question is a repetition of the subject and the auxiliary verb. So, the auxiliary verb, what is the auxiliary verb? Okay, so auxiliary verb are the be verb or be as a main verb. And in reverse order, so which is added at the end of the sentence. And this purpose is to seek information of the idea and expressed in the statement. So, to clear your understanding, we have here, your mother is a nice person. So, your mother is a nice person. This is the type of sentence which falls under the declarative sentence. So, your mother is a nice person. So, to form this into an interrogative question through the method of a tag question, we will be going to have now, your mother is a nice person, isn't she? So, what is the tag question used in this sentence to form an interrogative question? Yes? Okay, so very good. So, through the use of isn't she, this declarative sentence become an interrogative sentence through the method of tag question. So, your mother is a nice person, isn't she? So, when this sentence has neither an auxiliary verb nor be as a main verb, it is something that we add a form of do in forming the tag question. So here, an example, he turned the cell phone off, didn't he? So in this example, as it says here that when this sentence has neither an auxiliary verb nor be as a main verb, we add a form of do in forming the tag question. So what is the form of do used in a sentence to form an interrogative question or to form a tag question? What word used? What do words? Okay, very good. So the word didn't. So didn't comes from the word do. So didn't is part of the do words that used in the sentence to form an interrogative sentence. So have you noticed now the context or the different structures, different words that you can use in an interrogative sentence or an interrogative question? Okay, very good. So we have here the form, meaning, and use of an interrogative question. So for the form, we have auxiliary verb plus subject plus main verb. So for example, do you speak English? So from this example, do you speak English? An auxiliary verb or be as a main verb. We have here do you. Do. So plus the subject you and the main verb speak. So going back to what we have discussed or what definition we have earlier, it says that when the sentence has neither an auxiliary verb nor be as the main verb, we add a form of do in forming. So the auxiliary verb here, is it because we have neither an auxiliary verb, we use the form of do or the do word. So do you speak English? So you here is the subject and main verb is speak. So the meaning of this is to ask an information about the person. So when you ask, do you speak English? What is the context of your question? What is your intention? Or what answer that you want to get from that person? Diba? You are asking an information about the person. You are asking whether he speaks English ba, he speaks Chinese ba, he speaks French ba. So these are the information that you want. This is your intention when you ask this question. And this type of question you use is an example of an interrogative question, which means that and which used to ask an information. And the use of this is to gather an information. Okay, next we have the main verb be plus subject plus a question mark. Okay, we cannot form an interrogative question without the question mark. So, the main verb be plus the subject plus the question mark. So, for example, are you sure? So, are you sure is an example of interrogative question. And this structure or the form of this is main verb be plus subject plus question mark. And what is the main verb be used in a sentence? It's are. Very good. So are is used in this sentence as a main verb be. So the subject is you and question mark after the sentence. So are you sure? So this is an example of interrogative question, which means that you are asking someone a clarification. You are asking a clarification to someone if he is really sure. Are you really sure of if that person is really sure? So you are asking a clarification. And this is used to clarify. Very good. So next form is the WH word. So the WH word plus the auxiliary verb plus this subject plus main verb plus question mark. So an example is, when does the movie started? When does the movie started? So the WH question or the WH word here is the word when. And the auxiliary verb is does. And the main verb here is started. And after the main verb, at the end of the sentence is a question mark. So when does the movie started? So this means that an open-ended question that asks for a direct answer. It's because when you ask when does the movie started, you are asking a direct answer. You are asking an information. You are asking a direct answer of when does the movie started. So when does the movie started? What you're expecting, what answer that you expect to answer you. Is it diba, when does the movie started? Is it yesterday? Is it earlier? Or that is an example of an interrogative question. And this is used to ask a direct question. Okay, so I just want to ask if everyone get it clear. Okay, so everybody, have you understood the interrogative type of sentence? Okay, so very good. So next, we have another example of type of sentences. So another type of sentence is the imperative sentence. So this imperative sentence are the command sentences. These are the command statements. So when we say command, you are asking someone to do something. You are asking someone to do so. So with this, we can infer that in imperative sentence, you are asking a request and you are asking a command to someone wherein you want someone to do something and you want someone to do so. So it says that the sentence that describes so far have been in two-part structure consisting of a subject and a predicate. So however, in the case of imperative sentences or commands, the subject is nearly always unstated, although clearly understood. So it means that in imperative sentence, you may or you may not include the subject. It's because even without the subject, the statement or the sentence or the idea or the context of what you tend to say is still understandable without the use of the subject. So how? Here, the form, meaning, and use of the imperative sentences falls under the form, meaning, and use, which falls under the form subject plus predicate. So the subject plus predicate is you go out. So here, this sentence, you go out. So it says, diba, that in imperative sentence, even without the use of a subject, the statement can still be understood. The statement can still be perceived, or the statement is still clearly understandable by the reader or by the receiver of the statement. So, how? It's because, let's try to omit this word you. Let's try to omit the word you. You go out. And try to omit the word you. Go out. Diba? Have you noticed that even without the use of the subject you can still understand the meaning of this statement. You can still understand the meaning of this, or what does this stands to say. So you go out, and go out. Still without the use of the word you, of the subject you can still imagine, or you can still infer, or not just infer, but you can still realize and you can still know that you are requested or you are commanded to go out, even without the use of you. It's because when someone is referring you, he will going to act it. He will going to act it eyes on eyes. It's based on the side. It's based on the side on who is he referring to. And with this, by just looking at you, and he said, go out, even without the word you, even without the use of the word you and the subject you, when he is already referring to you, when he is already citing on you, go out. So you can perceive this as you are commanded, and or even you are requested to go out. And so, this is why, even without the use of the subject, the statement in the imperative sentence can still be understood. And it can still be clearly understood. And this example is commanding someone to do so. And this is used to command. And another, by negative. In a negative way naman. Do not plus subject plus predicate. So, in the first one, the predicate or the subject plus predicate. So we will just going to add a negative word. We're just going to add a negative word to command someone or to give an advice. And an example is do not plus subject plus predicate. So, an example, don't you give up. Don't you give up. Or, let's omit the subject you, don't give up. So, that's it. You can still clearly understood that someone is advising you not to give up. Someone is advising you not to quit. And so you can realize and you can perceive that someone is giving an advice on you. You can understand the context of the statement. Someone is commanding you, not commanding, but someone is advising you. And this is used to advise. Okay, so another is the word or the use of the polite words. Everyone, what are the polite words that we can use in our daily lives or in our daily living, in the daily activities that we are performing every day? So what are the polite words? Alright, very good. So the polite words are please and kindly. So these are the polite words that we can use when we're trying to command someone and if you're trying to request something from someone. And this example we have here, please come inside and kindly forward this letter to her. So, this example is also an example of an imperative sentence. Because through the use of the polite word please and kindly, someone is requesting, and this is used to request. So, please come inside and kindly forward this letter to her. So, an imperative sentence is used to ask a request and to command someone to do something. And that's it. So, we already have two types of sentences. What's the first one? Okay, interrogative sentence, and the second one is the imperative sentence. So, for the third one, we have the declarative sentence. So declarative sentence is the basic type of sentence. This is mostly used to lend its purpose, which is to relay information, and it's punctuated through the use of a period. For example, the boy walked home, and I love honey. He wants to eat cookies, but he doesn't know how to make them. So these examples, what have you noticed? What have you noticed with these examples presented in the screen? So this example is used to give an information. It's just the basic type of sentence or the basic type of statement that we are uttering every day. We are saying every day. It's because we are stating something. We are informing them about something, and we are giving them an information in order to inform them and in order to make them aware, just for the sake of their awareness. And also the declarative sentence can be simple, as in the first two examples. The boy walked home, and I love honey. It's just simple as that. And they can also be in any tense, as long as they do their basic job or they present an information. And this makes them the most common sentence type. So for the form, meaning, and use, in declarative sentence, it's always the subject and verb. It's because a sentence wouldn't be a complete thought without a verb or without a predicate, diba? It's in the imperative sentence. This sentence wouldn't be in its complete thought without a subject, or even without a subject and without the predicate. So, here, an example of a declarative sentence is Ram speaks Chinese. And the meaning of this is it tells us something, and it is used to make a statement. So, Ram speaks Chinese. So, can you imagine the difference of these sentences from the interrogative sentence, which is intended to ask a question, to the imperative sentence, which is intended to ask a command and to ask a request, and from here, the declarative sentence, which is to make a statement and to give an information. So that's how simple a declarative sentence, because every sentence comes from a declarative sentence, and we just have to add a new word to make it an imperative sentence, to make it an interrogative sentence, and to make it, for the last one, an exclamatory sentence. So, exclamatory sentence is the last type of sentence in the 4 different types of sentences. So, exclamatory sentence, we usually think of the exclamatory sentence or exclamation as any sentence spoken with heightened emotion, which is written with an exclamation point. So, do you know what is an exclamation point? Okay, so very good. It's what you have written earlier in the blackboard. So, in exclamatory sentence, it's stated that when we hear the word exclamatory sentence, when we hear the word exclamatory, it's always the statement that is heightened with an emotion. It's always the statement that expresses strong emotion. And this because that is the purpose and that is the function of an exclamatory sentence. So, for this example, I love your new house, and wipe the grin off your face. And are you kidding me? These are example of an exclamatory sentence. It's because you are heightened and you are giving strong emotion to emphasize your feelings of that object, to emphasize your feeling about something. And this is an exclamatory sentence. And also, in other terms or in other form, the first sentence immediately preceding is declarative and straightforward statement. However, the second sentence is an imperative. And the third one looks like a yes or no question, and by contrast, the formal exclamatory sentence involves a shift in word order that focuses especially on the attention of a complement. So, for the form, meaning, and use of exclamatory sentence, what you're going to do is you will going to find out the what or a plus n, or what a plus what a or what on plus adjective plus noun and plus exclamation mark. So here is just what a wonderful day. It's because you are amazed. And it is used to compliment. You are amazed of something. You are amazed by its beauty. You are amazed of how it renders you positivity. And it's because you are amazed of someone and you are heightening your emotion. You are highlighting your emotion or the feelings that you are experiencing, that you are feeling, with the beauty that you've witnessed, with the beauty that you have, or how blessed you are in that day. So this is because of the use of an exclamatory sentence, and this is used to compliment. And another is how plus adjective or plus adverb plus exclamation mark. So here, how is because you are something, you are heightening your emotion into something. For example, how rude are you? So with this, you are expressing a strong emotion or a strong feeling. Wherein with this example, how rude are you? You can perceive that someone is angry. Someone is angry at you. Someone is angry to someone. It's because it expresses an anger. So with this example, how rude are you? And another, okay, so with this, it's also something that we are surprised. Also through the use of an exclamatory sentence, you are surprised of something. You are surprised with the beauty of anything. And it's the sentence that we'll be going to use is that, wow. From the word wow, you can infer that you are surprised or you are amazed by the beauty, by the positivity that it renders on you. So with that, through the use of an exclamation mark, we can sense that in this sense, this is an exclamatory sentence. Okay, so everybody, what are the 4 types of sentences according to structure? Or what are the 4 types of sentences? Okay, very good. So the 4 types of sentences are the declarative, imperative, interrogative, and exclamatory sentences. So I hope that you have understood the discussion that we have right now. Have you understood the different types of sentences? Have you understood the meaning of each sentence or how it is used? Okay, so everyone, I hope that you've learned something with the discussion. And also, to further test your knowledge, we're still going to have another activity, which is analysis. In analysis part, any 1/2 crosswise. So, before we proceed with the activity that we have right now, can we arrange the chairs first? Can we arrange the chairs? Arrange yourselves also, make yourselves comfortable. Okay, so, alright, so, in 1/2 crosswise, you will going to analyze a short passage and identify the different types of sentences used and discuss the purpose of each sentence and how it contributes to the overall meaning of the passage. Okay, so have you understood the instruction, everyone? Students at the back? Okay, so can we read the instruction? Okay, so in 1/2 crosswise, you will going to analyze a short passage and you will going to identify what type of sentence it is. And you will going to, after identifying the type of sentence, you will going to discuss its purpose, and you will going to state how it contributes to the overall meaning of the passage. Okay, so are you ready? Okay, so here's the passage. Please read this silently and answer on your own. Answer independently. Okay, so read this passage silently, and after 15 minutes, you will going to pass your paper, finish or unfinish. Okay, so 15 minutes is over. Pass your paper to the front in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so with the activities that we have, the opera refers to a dramatic art form originating in Europe, in which the emotional content is conveyed to the audience as much through music, through both vocal, instrumental, and as it is used through the lyrics. So in musical theater, an actor's dramatic performance is primary, isn't it? So the drama in opera is presenting using the primary elements of theater, such as scenery, costumes, and acting. Amazing! So however, the words of the opera or libretto are sung rather than spoken. So the singers are accompanied by a musical ensemble ranging from a small instrumental ensemble to a full symphonic orchestra. So I hope that you've already answered what type of sentences used and how does these sentences contributed to the overall meaning of this passage. So we will know your answers later when I check your paper. And for the application part, you will going to write an email to a teacher requesting a deadline extension using an appropriate type of sentence or a mix of sentence types. So even it's just a short paragraph or just in one paragraph, write an email requesting a deadline extension using the different types of sentences. Okay, so I will be giving you 20 minutes for this activity. Okay, so is 20 minutes enough? Everyone, is 20 minutes enough? Okay, so your 20 minutes starts now. Okay, so 20 minutes is over. Pass your paper again. Okay, so Miss Santos, kindly collect the papers of your classmates. Okay, so for the last activity that we will going to have right now is the evaluation. So get 1/4 na lang. Get 1/4 sheet of paper and answer the evaluation. Answer the activity in the screen. Okay, so for the number 1, identify the type of sentence. So for the number 1, identify the type of sentence. Do you want to go to the movies tonight? So for the number 2, which type of sentence expresses strong emotions or feelings? Number 3, which type of sentence gives a command or instruction? And for number 5, fill in the blank. A blank sentence makes a statement. For the number 5, answer it with true or false. A sentence can only have one type. Is it true or false? Okay, so this is only 5 minutes and your 5 minutes starts now. Are you all done answering? Okay, so Miss Santos, please collect again the papers of your classmates. Okay, so for your assignment, I just want to clarify if you have really understood our topics, or if you have really understood our topic. I just want to know how far your idea, or how far did you understand, or how far did you understood the lesson of the different types of sentences. bond paper, write a short paragraph or paragraphs using all four types of sentences. So, for your assignment, I hope that the instruction is already clear. And for your assignment, you will going to pass it tomorrow. And I hope that you have really understood the topic that we have discussed right now. And once again, thank you for listening. And before that pala, please copy the instruction of your assignment. Please copy your assignment and please put it in a short bond paper. Write a short paragraph using all four types of sentences. Okay, so everyone, what have you learned with our discussion? Okay, yes. Alright, so very good. All four types of sentences are important in making a statement, in making a passage, and in making an article. Very good. So another wants to answer? Okay, yes. Alright, so the use of punctuations such as the period, exclamation mark, and the interrogative or the question mark is used in a sentence that suits on that use of any punctuation. Okay, so very good. So I thought that I'm expecting that you have really understood and the knowledge that you gained today. I hope that this will last for a long period of time so that you can still use it in your future in future purposes. So once again, I am your teacher Eva, and thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for the cooperation, and I hope that you have really learned something, and I hope that I have lended you a lot of knowledge, and I have lended you clear information about the different types of sentences. So once again, please give yourselves a round of applause, and thank you for listening, and Yomi na go, God bless, and keep safe.